I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Happy Wednesday. It is Tech Talk here on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. Clint Scott, Dr. Mike Gustafson, Kyler Brown behind the glass taking care of us. Hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Thoughts, comments, questions, all of that welcome there. You can also call us on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. Oh, look, a wild, long Jim Silver sighting now behind the glass.
There he is.
Yeah, tag team back again. Is that what's, little producer helping producer back there? Okay.
Yes.
Kyler just got way taller out of my peripherals there. So
I wish.
We are live for 3.5 hours from the First United Bank studio. We'll lead you all the way up to the series finale between the Rangers and the Astros. And if you would like to watch us during that time, Fox 34 News Now, YouTube, Facebook, all of that is open to you. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, follow us. Just look up Double T 97.3. Gus, how is your Wednesday treating you?
It is okay. I was all set for a scrap with that truck I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I had some like battery resets or something technical like that. But also the first thing I was going to do was go get the one. When you're doing that kind of stuff, you got to find like known good parts. Back when I used to do IT stuff, you got to get known good stuff, right? Like, do we know that cable's good? Well, not sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to get all the things that you know are the right things. So I thought, well, the first thing I'm going to do today when I get there is get that fob, that fob that we have a second set of keys that nobody touches. So I said, I'm going to get that set. Because when I used that yesterday, it worked, and then whatever, changed the battery, blah, blah, blah. Pulled in today and the truck was gone, and I thought, you know what? There's a 99% chance that that's a good thing. Like somebody had the right fob and just left, like went out to work in it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that was it. And there was also a 1% chance that it had gotten towed off or something in the middle of the night, or somebody picked it up.
It was in a chop shop somewhere.
Right, but yeah, that was not the case. So it was all good. Yeah, I was all prepared for tools and prepared for hand-to-hand combat this morning, and I rolled in there and it was gone.
Almost your own version of Home Improvement.
Yes, absolutely. A happy technician out doing good things, and yeah. I say happy in the sense that he had a truck he didn't even know he needed to worry about that truck, which is perfect.
I should have called you while you're in that mindset. I needed a headlight changed and oil changed today. So, should have just... I'll remember that next time.
Yeah.
What do you charge, sir?
A lot of money for you, Clint.
We'll start with this on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. 3 more days, boys.
Bump. Yeah, I know, man. I can't wait. I feel like and I'm sure we'll be this in 48 hours. We'll be as tired of talking about it as we are now, and I say that in relative to let's get it on, fellas.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing going.
Well, we didn't look past Oregon State, but
used to say somebody wave that flag, right?
Yeah. We certainly didn't look past Oregon State, Gus, but still, this has been a game that in some ways has been broken down for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, just because, one, it's your Big 12 opener.
Mm-hmm.
You add in the excitement of the season, the excitement of the roster, and then you've done nothing to change anybody's minds through your non-conference slate. And then as you've gone along, you've just, peered out of the side of your eye. There's those periffs again, just using those, Gus, and Utah's looking pretty good. Yeah. And then you're also looking on the other side and saying, well, Arizona State isn't exactly on fire right now. Oh, what is going on with Kansas State? Oh, there's a loss for Baylor to Auburn, and
Iowa State's looking pretty, sitting pretty.
Yeah, Iowa State's sitting pretty, and you roll up to this game, and we talked about it yesterday. I'm sure we'll mention it again over the next couple of days, but I truly believe, unless something changes drastically, when you do put in the location and then more importantly the opponent, I think this is your toughest game on the schedule.
Yeah, I agree, and it's dang sure the one that's in front of us right now. I mean, the other one that I'd probably put on that same list, and we can worry about it in 5-6 weeks from now, is the trip to Tempe.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's time to change that opinion, because Arizona State could turn it on, and we go, okay, that's kind of the version of the Sun Devils we've been waiting to see, whatever that even ends up looking like. But right now, just top to bottom, total team, I think this is your toughest matchup. But also, if you go and you look at Utah's schedule, I mean, I think you're their toughest game too. Even with some of them, like even a trip to Waco for them, I wonder what they would say. I really like the massive Utah fans. If we could wade through the kind of smack talk I've enjoyed it, has been going on all week between the Utah faithful and then the Red Raider faithful, because you're both just so active, and I like it. I want passionate fan bases in the conference. I think that's a good thing.
Yes,
but if you weeded through that, I wonder what do they think is their toughest game on the schedule, because you have to be involved in that conversation. Like if I'm going through,
hey, maybe they're overlooking us, right? I doubt it.
I doubt
maybe
it.
They are.
But for the Utes, they're starting off Big 12 play with you. After that, it's at West Virginia, and then home against Arizona State, at BYU, which that game is always going to be interesting, rivalry and all of that. And it's over in BYU's place. That game would probably
ASU BYU, is that right? I missed one.
It's Tech at West Virginia, home against Arizona State, at BYU. If I was picking out,
that's a little stretch right there.
Yeah, if I was picking out what I thought would be in consideration for like their opinion for the toughest games, it would be you. It would be Arizona State would be there, at BYU, and then at Baylor.
You know what? I know, I'm with you. That West Virginia game there, I don't know what to think about those guys. It's a little early. We don't know much about Pittsburgh, but I don't. Yeah, that we were wanting to just pencil that in as a win earlier, and I'm like, okay, Rich Rod, take it easy, fella. I want the version that went to Ohio and played.
Well, I still think that version is there. I just think Pitt's really bad.
Perfect.
We'll see. It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3. Happy Wednesday to you. Clint Scott, Dr. Mike Gustafson, Kyler Brown behind the glass taking care of us. That is DJ Puddin taking care of Viking and Long Skid. We will go up till 6:30, so a little bonus Tech Talk for you today. Rangers and Astros. The Rangers aiming to avoid a sweep if possible. The Astros looking to ruin those dreams tonight. This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Raiders, only one thing to do Saturday. O-line and D-line, that first hit, it's got to be the hardest of the game. Put them on notice, and heels, make them respect you. Beat them, Big Red Raiders.
I like it.
Yeah. If you could pick, I'm just out of curiosity, not like, if you have a advantage in your mind with it, works for the answer too. But if you could pick, are you more anxious, excited, anticipating seeing the offense first for the Red Raiders or the defense on the field?
Well, and when you say first, if we win, I want to defer, but I always want that to be able to control if you can control the end of the first half, you can maybe get two possessions in a row, but that's another topic. But
that's what I'm saying. If you take like that part out of it, just which one are you more excited or looking forward to, again, and whatever the feeling is, because it could have some anxiety with it too, because Utah's very good. But whatever the feeling is, are you anticipating more the offense or the defense first?
I know I kind of want to measure our defensive line by what they're facing this weekend. I guess if you're gonna make me pick, I feel like we ought to be able to score some points this weekend. And I'm not saying that to say it should just be another 45-point breakout.
I would take one of those if you want to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that would be. I would hope that's enough to win. But I don't know what they're. I think they're going to blitz a lot, and and I'm sure they're going to have a real sense of their ability to get to the quarterback and create havoc. But I think more than anything else, and to broaden the question a little bit, their identity has over the years under their current regime, which is one of the longest standing regimes in the country, Kyle Whittingham, is just hard-nosed, man. These dudes have been hard-nosed for a long time. Even if they're not highly skilled, they're hard-nosed, and they may be highly skilled. We'll find out. It just feels like what we're hearing about from them are really good in the trenches. They seem to have a linebacker who's got pro football ratings like Rodriguez, in that same sort of area of the draft, third-round type pick, good, solid veteran player. If they're going to blitz a bunch, are they going to get some guys? Can we get some guys singled up? Some man-on-man stuff. Can we get that one last block to give Barron just an extra split second to get off some deep balls? Or there's some home run balls that could be had this weekend? That's it. I'm curious to see the Caleb Douglas and Virgil and those dudes get to work against single coverage, because it's a lot of man from these dudes typically.
So to me, there's the entertainment value. If I wasn't a part, if we weren't associated with the Tech fan base, or weren't associated, with the Utah fan base on the other side, if it was just neutral or whatever, and just fan of another Big 12 team, this would be one of the most circled games on the schedule throughout the entire Big 12 conference. With it, part of that is because you have so much, to me, Big 12 star power on the field. But then also when you have star power, you have what you're talking about. You have NFL-graded guys. And if you have a bunch of NFL-graded guys coming together, well, who's going to be in the stands? NFL scouts. Coach McGuire talked about scouts coming to Salt Lake City on Saturday.
Blanchard, but it's going to be packed, man, because you look at it like for them, the way the quarterback's playing right now, both tackles are projected first-round draft picks. The one tackle is projected as the number one offensive lineman off the board. They've got a linebacker that is he's going to be a first or second round draft pick. He is massive, and he plays tight end, and they've got two guys that are playing both ways at times, and he plays inside linebacker and tight end. Now you turn around with us, David Bailey's a projected first round draft pick. Romello Height is playing really, really well right now. Lee Hunter, guys like that. So you've got a number of first and second round draft picks in this game. So I'd be shocked if every team's not represented.
Yeah, and that's the key. This isn't. That's a key to what he's saying. Is this isn't one guy on the field who's going to be the 7th overall pick, and you go, well, a lot of teams aren't going to go scout that guy because he's not going to fall to you. I'm not saying they won't scout him, but they're not. This game involves so many guys at so many levels of the draft and head-to-head competition. What better way to scout Bailey than
going up against Fano or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or
the other
and go, hey,
tackle.
There's Caleb Lomu and there's Romello Height. I think it's fun to think about it. One, Gus, I truly think that this is one of the best position battles, not just in the conference, but if you're looking again, going back to like how those two units specifically are being graded out across the country and just how much hype, preseason notoriety they got, I really think it's one of the best
trench battles in the country this year, and hopefully
until later.
I was going to say hopefully it lives up to the hype, but hopefully you just dominate.
No,
but with it, it's also fun to think about it past just that, like what it means to a lot of those guys' futures, right?
Sure. Yeah, and that part probably has to stay external. I mean, you don't want to hey, play extra hard this weekend. The scouts are watching. Sure. Like that doesn't really work. But you're exactly right. There's no way to ignore that either, because it's a proving ground for all these dudes. The Utah linemen, specifically the 2 tackles, may not get a better chance to show off what they have than against these guys. Now, again, both these teams, if they're making the college football playoff, playing high-end talent, somewhere on down the road, maybe that can be matched. But on the schedule for both of them, this represents a tremendous opportunity.
Either side, like when it gets to those individual draft video packages, if either side has some big individual wins, don't you think that this game's tape is going to be used a lot when they're breaking down a David Bailey or, vice versa? If it's Caleb Long, like, hey, watch him go up against this highly regarded defensive end.
Absolutely. Feels like draft day footage to me.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that you have that with, by the way, your Big 12 opener. We will go back in time next. It's Tech Talk and Double T 97.3.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. A little bonus Tech Talk today as we go to 6:30. Rangers and Astros rounding out this series. The Rangers have already dropped the series and just trying to avoid a sweep. I don't think anybody cares about, very many people care about the silver boot, right? Which would be locked up with a Rangers win tonight, especially if the Rangers are on the outside looking in and the Astros get into the playoffs, right? Now, if it comes down to somehow you work into a tiebreaker, right, and it goes your way with that, that's a whole different story. But man, that just seems like such a tall task. Feels like you're really less focused on maybe a singular team at this point. You're back into, we just got to win some games and hope we can get into that third wild card spot.
Yeah, it's getting late for our teams. You pick. The Rangers desperately need this game today. Tonight. Yeah, that.
By the way, the one you're technically chasing right now is Boston. Although,
true.
I mean, you're right in the mix of the Astros are only a half game in front of them for the second spot. So,
and that felt like a. There's a handful of divisions that are already locked up. I thought it was interesting the other day. The Phillies do their deal and clinch, and this might have been Monday night. Get my days right here. They clinch. They're 70-year-old, probably billionaire owners down there beer bonging with the fellows in the clubhouse. Big deal there. And who's in the lineup the next day? They're stars. Like they're playing for that 1 seed, which is it's a I don't know, a good state of the game type conversation to everybody wants that thing. Everybody wants that 1 seed. Seeding matters, trying to set themselves up. But yeah, most of the time, the day after a clinch and the day after beer bongs and that whole deal, like you come out the next day, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a thin bench here today, boys. Stars, especially if you've got stars that are banged up or tired or whatever that have been making the big playoff push. But yeah, the fact that those guys were in the lineup the next day, like, hey, we got work to do, probably tells you a good bit about their leadership, their core. Phillies will be something to contend with, I would think.
By the way, if you're schedule watching, speaking of the Red Sox, They have not been on fire. They dropped that series to the Yankees. They did avoid a sweep, and then they lost the opener to the Athletics yesterday. And so right now you're rooting for the Athletics. After that, you'll be rooting for the Rays, then the Blue Jays, and then the Tigers as far as looking what's ahead of the Red Sox. Again, it's all for naught if you don't take care of business yourself. But if you're looking for some schedule help, there's the opponents for the Red Sox the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's important.
Mm-hmm. I would like to apologize on behalf of my Kansas Royals for being just zero help with the Mariners, just none, or to themselves.
Oh, that's right. Apologize on behalf of the entire state of Missouri for that, because that's exactly what the Cardinals are. No help. It's a good time of year. I mean, this will be a good last 10 days or so, and then we'll be off into the playoffs, and calendar will be flipping to October. What? And we'll take it from there. You and I have had that conversation many times. October's a good sports month. Mm-hmm. Just about whatever you're into, you're going to get either an exciting start to the NBA and NHL, or you're wrapping up baseball, or you're heating up football, whatever it is you like. For a lot
college
of
basketball preseason talk. Heck
some of
yeah,
that
I'm in, dude. You got me.
You got that. By the end of the month, it'll be full blast.
I'm saving this conversation because I don't want to hear what are we talking about college basketball right now. I'm just going to do a very quick 30-second thought. For the Red Raiders basketball season, I legitimately think this is the most national championship hype that I have seen in the offseason, and this includes a preseason that followed a national championship appearance. That is how high the talking heads are on this roster that has been built, and how high they are on JT Toppin and Christian Anderson, and then also just how good of a freaking coach you have over there in McCaslin. All right, basketball thought done. I'll save it for October. Bullfighter said, bleep your Royals. Let's go Mariners. Wow. I thought we were trying to help the Mariners here. Help the Rangers here. We got 2 more shots at them. If it's anything like yesterday, they're going to outscore them.
This feels like the year where
technically 36-15 would be the accurate math there.
Where there's some team that we sort of write off, and where all of our focus and all the TV screens are on, this set of 4 or 5 teams, and then some teams wins 8 in a row, and you get to that last couple days of the season like, well, hello there, San Francisco Giants. Somebody comes flying in from the turnbuckle. Isn't that what you like, wrestling analogies?
Yeah,
yeah, there you go.
He's on the ropes.
Perfect.
My God, that's the Rangers music. It's the Texas Rangers music. This on the Yates floor. You set me up for it.
Good time for a commercial, isn't it?
Yeah.
How you doing in there, Puddin'?
He wants you to click the outro music so bad right now. I appreciate you working the WWE back into it.
Oh, yeah.
I always appreciate it.
Like that. That's about it. The turnbuckle.
I know you're the bigger fan.
I hope they don't change what a turnbuckle is, or I'll be in trouble. That's all I know.
Yeah, it is Tech Talk. You're in Double T 97.3. I'll just end it right there. How about that?
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good right now. It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3. Kind of, it's going to turn into a Hank Williams day. Kyler obliging behind the glass. Thank you very much.
Senior, not junior.
Senior.
I'd be sending in any of that hippie crap. We're listening to the old man. How's that? That help?
Yeah, I like it. You laid down
I'm
the
fine
law.
With junior, but if it's Hank Williams Senior, we're doing Hank Williams Senior.
Yeah. Resident Aggie had a request on the chat line for Hank Williams that I'm sure Kyler will get to as well. It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3. Thanks for joining us for a Wednesday edition. We are live from the First United Bank studio until 6:30. Clint, Gus, and with our play of the day, it is Kyler Brown.
This is on the left hash, 64 for the tie. Or it's the last play of the game. Snap, hold, 64, and sweet butter. Good operation, 46, the kick, wins the game. Butter, 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 extra butter. Cowboys win in overtime, 40-37.
What a game. I was personally at this game, and I just now am about 90% getting my voice back. It was the definition of an emotional roller coaster. However, the Cowboys squeezed out a victory over the Giants in overtime, and that second half was specifically the fourth quarter.
Bonkers.
I hate that they do this to me. They do this to me every year, and I've experienced an overtime game before. Dak and Zeke's rookie year when they went in OT against the Eagles, and Dak found Jason Witten wide open in the back in the end zone. That game did not compare to this one. And I think it was because I was going into it thinking that it was not going to be that close. It was not going to come down to that close of a game at all. I was expecting us to win by 10, 15 points, but division games, you have no idea what to expect. I'm just glad we have Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, I think you and every other Cowboys fan, too. Did you also yell butter either time he made a kick?
No, I did not, but I could not.
Sweet butter.
I just kept laughing. I kept having to play it over as I was recording this because I just loved it. But I do want to add, once the Giants went up, once Neighbors got that touchdown, 25 seconds left, the amount of Cowboys fans that were getting up and leaving shocked me because there was 25 seconds left. We had 3 timeouts and a kicker who can kick from 60. So I was keeping my butt in that chair because I knew this game was not over.
To be honest, I thought it was over. I wouldn't have left in that situation, but I thought it was over.
Oh, I didn't feel great. I wasn't very confident, but I knew we definitely had a chance.
Well, that's
64 yards, man.
Yeah, what was it like seeing that in person?
It's a bomb.
Where were you sitting?
So I was actually sitting in the upright that he kicked to.
Oh, nice.
Not like directly behind it, but kind of in the angle. And I don't think it's put into perspective exactly how far of a kick that is unless you genuinely see it in person. It's shocking. It's baffling that the trajectory of how you're able to, because there's 11 people trying to block this kick. You have to get it over them. It's not just a free kick. So the math is really weird on how he is able to get the distance on the kicks that he does.
I think his story is so fun and really interesting. And it's also just about the only position you could kind of have that story. It's like, yeah, he played, soccer at Notre Dame, right? And then I can't remember. I always forget like the specific job he had, but it was not playing football.
It was not a sport.
And was just like his spouse, girlfriend, fiance
sent in some film or something.
Yeah, one
like
was
that.
like, you could do this. And
Yeah.
he was like, all right, well, I'm going to go try this at a high school field, and then guess I'll get a coach, and then guess I'll kick in the USFL, and then I guess I'll just kick in the NFL and look like the best kicker in the league.
It does make
crazy.
you wonder if there's a feeder of soccer players. I mean, that's been a thing for 60 years. And in the early days, that's what the earliest soccer-style kickers were. Mm-hmm. Now they're all that. I mean, and within 15, 20 years, they were all that. Like the soccer-style thing was, just pushed all the old toe punchers out of the way. But it does make you wonder if there's or is it like the next level of kicker could be some failed soccer player.
Sure.
That there's
a really good collegiate soccer player.
Sure.
That.
But I'm saying not somebody that's walking away from Man U, Man City. I don't know, But yeah, those dudes are so skilled at, I assume, the kid who grows up playing soccer is so skilled at manipulating the ball. Obviously the skill side of it, but just shooting it, and I needed to go to that top corner. Like the ability to really manipulate the travel of a ball. And golly, man, sure, the skill levels. I think you and I talked about this last week. Some friends of mine looked it up.
Yeah, it's
like a long
crazy
kick
where
in
kickers have come
1978.
to.
Yeah, I think there was 3 52-yard field goals kicked in all of 1978, and I just plucked that date out of a hat just because it was something that the few of us that were in there emailing and chatting back and forth, and then looked up some guys that were 10 and 12-year kickers when we were kids. Guys Chuck and I would remember: Fred Cox, Jim Bakken, guys like that. These guys kicked in the league for 12, 14 years, whatever it was, 10 years, and they were like career 64% kickers. I heard this today that Dicker, the kicker, is 94 for his first 100.
Stupid.
94 for his first 100. I mean, think about that, too. Like, they're not protecting him. I mean, I don't know exactly what he's been thrown out there to kick. How many of his misses are some right there at the end of the half? Go out there and try that 68-yarder. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what his misses are.
It doesn't matter for Brandon Aubrey. He'll do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, in other words, Dicker, his 6 misses in his first 100 attempts might be only 4 of them that you go, we really needed that 46-yarder. It's just like ridiculously good compared to, I mean, there's no comparison to the old kickers of my childhood, and really not even your childhood, and what they're doing.
Yeah, because like the ones that I think of, obviously, like you have Vinatieri, who was just so clutch. Sure. But then you have like Janikowski and just how powerful his leg was. And now you just have every kicker that's just a combination of the two, and they're just. I mean, you have like 10 of them that are just consistently kicking every single Sunday.
Justin Tucker was definitely one of the best kickers in the league at some point as well.
Oh,
he definitely fell off very fast.
In life, yes.
But, kicking a field goal is incredibly hard, especially from 50-plus, and nowadays they make it seem so easy.
Well, I think when you and I talked about
who
this,
doesn't make it look easy? Joyce Woodman.
On Monday, when we talked about this, the Cowboys in their maybe final position get it down to the 41 or something 41-yard line, and I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about, hey, like they ran a play kind of into the line, like super conservative, like, well, we're in field goal range, and I'm like, what's their color guy? What's their quarterback? Who's the color guy on their radio broadcasts? He's got a name. Former NFL quarterback, even. Yeah, him.
You've made me blank.
I know, you're a wealth
The only name I'm thinking of is Brad Sham, and that's the play-by-play.
Sham and blank. Blank said, maybe get a few more yards so that we're not doing, we're just saying, hey, you got this. It's a 58-yard kick. Come on. Because time was running out in overtime, like it was going to be the same deal coming down to the very end.
You know what's funny, too? Because I always love watching Laufenberg.
There you go. Thank you. It was absolutely him.
See, I helped when they do like, hey, this is the line that you need to reach on the field, and it feels like they should just put up a question mark at this point with some of these kickers. Cause it's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. Clint, Gus, and Kyler, 2 more hours with us as we go up to 6:30 today. Rangers and Astros rounding out their series at that time. We got this thought on the Yates Flooring Center chat line from Bullfighter. Only place Clint has ever sprinted to was to the front of the buffet line. Bobby Hot Dog said, I was wondering why Golden Corral has a painting of Clint hanging in their dining area.
Baseball teams used to call guys like you spread killers.
Oh, nice.
You got a post-game spread.
I like that. Yeah, that is my Thanksgiving mentality.
Clint is not only a pylon, he is a spread killer.
The move is to go last, and then you're like, all right, everybody got what they wanted?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Everybody got all the pizza they wanted? All right.
Yep. At least
Time to do some damage.
At least that has some civility attached to it. I like that, Clint.
Yeah. Manners. Mm-hmm. Chivalry. Very little film available for our starters, maybe 6 quarters. Could that be an advantage for us? You know,
Let me add to that. Very little film on our offensive coordinator.
Well, yes, with the
this group of players.
Yes, with this group of players, yes, but I think the same. How much have they opened things up or shown for like the defense? You've known, like you said, you know what Utah likes to do.
Yep.
That has not changed under Whittingham for some time. And then whenever their defensive coordinator, who is the coach in waiting, who is also a player and has been there forever, like, you know what they're going to do. But the offense, I think you could say a little bit of the same thing about them. So what do? Well, you watch the film that you do have, right? And then when you're looking at like breaking down individual players, well, I would venture to guess somebody has watched some Stanford film specifically on David Bailey. I would venture to guess somebody has watched some Georgia Tech film on Romello Height. All of that together, I'm not sure if they're, the less film available can't be a bad thing, but I think they're going to be very aware with who's pulling up to Salt Lake City this weekend.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, that's what summer is for, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Because the same thing we talked about with Oregon State, I would venture to guess that there was a lot of Texas State offense being watched, or at least some.
Sure.
Again, different players, but still, for just to get a thought on what Mac Leftwich is like to do. And you're right. What's interesting is, it's hard to tell, because the thought process is, hey, you're so much better than Pine Bluff. You're so much better than Kent State. In the end, you're still way better than Oregon State even. I mean, it's closer to them than it was. They were, closer to you even as your best opponent. It's hard to tell how vanilla offensively you've been, or if you have opened it up, because that's like the phrase we like to use, right? Or what, and it's hard for me to think that you've been, well, you haven't shown anything in the playbook yet, because as soon as you start going, hey, here's a screen that you're going to set up for a fake screen later in the game that's going to go to your tight end and be on a big play, to be like, well, I mean, you're showing some things. And so I think as far as that goes, this is where it's a positive that you don't have a, in my mind, like a one-trick pony at offensive coordinator. And I think he, however long the career is here at Texas Tech, hopefully this trio that you have stays together forever. Odds are it won't. It seems like Mac Leftwich is the very next case of like this young up-and-coming brilliant head offensive coach. Mind that's going to be a head coach somewhere. But for however long, I think he's going to show you that he's got adaptability, creativity as a play caller, and also he knows how to use the weapons that he has. And this year, Gus, you got a lot, and they're going to need to make plays on Saturday.
It's the thing that's exciting about this. I mean, obviously a tremendous challenge is we feel like we have some really exciting pieces, some really talented pieces, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we hopefully good things ahead, but a win here, especially if we go commanded. I'm not saying go win by 17 points, but just look good and winning. You kind of go, ooh, we are really good. Like, it's going to be hard just for fan basey type stuff to corral the excitement. I think be great for business in terms of eyeballs and tickets sold and all that thing. Win this game, probably won't have any trouble selling those last few seats for the UCF game, et cetera, right?
Right.
I mean, like, there's not many tickets left for this season anyway. Win this game and be
well. Right
exciting.
Now, these are the far and away. If you're just going off of Vegas odds, the two with the best odds to win the conference. You are number one by just a little bit over Utah, and then it's a fairly decent gap, and then you get to TCU sitting at third for those odds. And I mean, I'm just putting this in any perspective that I can as far as just how big this game is. And you already knew it was going to be a tough challenge, but man, it just feels like again, I'm trying just not repeat myself, that if you win this game, and I already think there's not a game on the schedule that you can't win. You could win. You can beat every single opponent, and my confidence has only gone up from what I've seen from you and also from what I've seen from some of the teams on the rest of your schedule. I'm not saying if you beat Utah, for sure, book it undefeated all the way to Arlington or anything like that, because you'll still have plenty of challenges, and the Big 12 is wonky. We know this week in and week out. But man, if you win this game, those Arlington odds are only going to go up. Same thing for Utah, and so it's crazy that it's week 4 for college football. It's week 1 for conference play, and yet you have one of the most conference-defining games of the season here. I thought it would be the very first game of the year with Iowa State and Kansas State, and maybe you could still look back for Iowa State and say it was.
Yep.
But now that the Wildcats are trying to figure things out, it doesn't feel like that's carried as much weight. This week you have Arizona State and Baylor, which I thought could be that and still can be that, but man, they have so many things to figure out.
This time last year, the eventual Big 12 champs came to Lubbock and lost their opener. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anything can happen.
Anything can happen. It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3. Let's tell you what's going on when we come back.
This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.